function. Andy Elder, get us started.
Hey, Cael, I was just wondering if you could, in advance of this weekend's duels, just walk us through your lineup and point out any of the new starters you might be having.
I'm not going to specifically say who's starting and who's not, but it's, I think, some of the weight class, obviously, just from returning starters and guys that were All-Americans and national champions from last year. But, 25 is a little bit more competitive this year, I'd say. 49 is Bo Bartlett, and 57's a weight that's a little bit more competitive. 65 also, and then kind of the usual suspects at the rest of the weights. But some of those weights we'll kind of play with that as we kind of go along, and it's still November, obviously. And we got a long but exciting season ahead. So we'll kind of work through the lineup issues as we go along here.
Ben?
Cael, Nick and Roman kind of elaborated on a little bit that Carter Sriracha had taken a little bit more of a leadership role, coming off all the experience he gained last year. Can you touch on that? What have you seen different from Carter this season?
Yeah, I think Carter is he works really hard, and he's one of those guys, and I think we talked about this last year, that we have to convince him to kind of take his foot off the gas as we prepare for competitions. And so I think he leads by example in that he just works really hard, and he's going to compete. He believes, very confident kid. I would say I think all of our guys have improved and jumped levels in this off season, but of course it's up to them to go out there and take advantage of that and continue to compete freely and with enthusiasm, because that's kind of it doesn't really matter how much you've improved if you're not wrestling with enthusiasm. It's not really going to show through. So I think that's something that we can hopefully see out of Carter and see out of some of our seniors, is just or we don't have a lot of seniors, but just some of our our more experienced wrestlers, is just wrestling to score points, and obviously if you're trying to win big dual meets or win national championships or Big Ten championships, you need bonus points, and that's something that we didn't have a lot of last year, as everyone knows. So hopefully our team is able to improve in that area. And I think a lot of that's leadership, and it's kind of the way, just the attitude and the energy you take out on the mat, and being less concerned about whether you win or lose and just how you compete, right? And if we can do that, we'll be good to go.
Andrew?
Hey, Coach. I apologize. My question is more of a media day question, but I was traveling that day. I'm just wondering, Pennsylvania is experiencing a growth of high school teams picking up the sport of girls wrestling. I'm just wondering what you see as your role in that to keep expanding that, and are a lot of people reaching out to you for help in guiding that movement going forward?
Not too much. I mean, my role is to coach the Penn State Wrestling team and obviously the Nittany Wrestling Club, and we've had 4 girls training in the Nittany Wrestling Club, and if they're part of the club, we're not worried about anything. Whether you're or a man or a woman or whatever, we're just we want to help you reach your goals. As far as the growth of women's wrestling, that's not. I don't know what my role is in that. I mean, at this point, I'm trying to do my job and take care of the kids and the people in our program right now, and that's been taking up a lot of our time and energy. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I get asked about that sometimes, and I've pretty good relationship with Wrestle Like a Girl, and the movement there, and I think we've taken big strides in the last year or two, or however long we've had girls in our club, but it's just something that's it's been very kind of organic in how and who has kind of joined the club. But I think that's kind of probably the role I'll take in that movement.
Thanks, Coach.
Clay?
Cael, you guys brought in former national finalist in Max Dean in the offseason. Obviously have a returning All-American there at 197 with Michael Beard. Can you talk us through a bit about what that conversation was like with Max? Did they approach you? Did you approach them? And then what the situation is at 197 going into the year?
Yeah, that was a situation where I think they were just leaving where they were, and he was restricted in the transfer portal. So we didn't know there was any interest in Penn State, and I got a text, or I think from Coach Gabe Dean, and we talked, and he said, Penn State's one of the programs he'd consider and be interested in, and I'd say the rest is history. And I'd say Max is he's just a really, really good dude, and works really hard, brings a lot to the table, a lot to the team. And I'd say him and then Michael Beard has definitely elevated his game, which I think this would be a blessing for both of those guys, to have that competition and just having to, compete at a higher level in practice, even just to make the team, having two of the best guys in the country. So that'll be obviously we got some wrestling to do there, and we'll see how things play out throughout the year. But we're very, very confident and comfortable with both Max and Mike at this point.
Nate?
Cael, obviously 125 has been like a revolving door for you guys when it comes to a starter there. So does it seem like it's going to continue to be that way, or are you sticking with Robbie Howard going into this year, or what's going on at 125?
Well, yeah, I think again that that's a weight that'll kind of it'll work itself out as we move along here. We have more guys competing in that weight initially, at least, than we have probably at any other weight, just because that's and Howard filled in for us last year, like last second, coming off of a surgery that I think you're all aware of right after his high school state tournament as a senior, and didn't really have a lot of time to prepare, and then he had to jump right back into a surgery right after the NCAA tournament. So but he's not back to full speed there. But we have several kids that are working hard and that are competitors that are going to try to make that their weight class. And but yeah, it's definitely not at this point like some of the other weights that we have, where we have established guys, and there's no question about who's going and what the story is going to be there. So yeah, so I know that didn't really answer your question probably, but that's going to be something that as we compete, I mean, as a team for us, obviously we're training year round, and we have stuff going on year round, but we like to get into competition here and then make adjustments as we go, and technically, individually, as a team, and kind of figure things out as we kind of progress through the season. And this year will be no exception to that.
Are you able to just give us a couple of those guys' names at 125 that you're looking at? Well,
yeah, I think if you just look at the roster, I mean, you got Baylor Shunk, and Campbell was a transfer from Bucknell. Meredith has been working his way back to 125. Obviously, Robert Howard, Marco Vespa is a freshman. We got some freshmen in there. Gary Steen. So that's already. I'm not great at counting, but like 5 or so kids, right? And so that's a good chunk of guys trying to prepare and be the person at that weight class.
Thanks, Kip.
Yep.
Travis, you may be muted.
How about now? Am I good?
You're good. You're good.
Cool. Hey, Cael, I wanted to ask about Roman. After he got through that bout with MRSA in July, without any major health effects, was there any concern about the timing of that? Maybe just throwing off his training cycle, and if so, what adjustments did he have to make based on the timing of when that kind of hit him?
Yeah, I think the scary part is just the severity of the potential of MRSA or anything in that nature, right? Because you get into your joints and it's very serious stuff. But he was good to go, and I mean, a guy like Roman he's training year round. He's another guy that you talked about Carter, but Roman's another guy that you got to get him to kind of slow down and just because he's training all the time. If you come in on a Sunday night and it's not an unusual thing to see a guy like Roman in there getting extra work in. So he's always in shape and he's a very hardworking kid. So yeah, I don't think the timing of it was that big of a deal. I mean, being in the summer and if it wasn't for social media and stuff, obviously it wouldn't even be something that people were aware of. But yeah, he's a tough kid, and he's not a kid obviously, but he's a tough young man. But yeah, he's firing on all cylinders.